Nvidia.
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 Nvidia. Video.
Nvidia.
Stability dropping. Recovery complete.
Whew. Well, the future isn't that scary yet. But Nvidia, the heart of almost all AI company, didn't dominate AI because they built the fastest chip. They dominated because they played a game their competitors didn't even know existed. A plan that started in 1993 with almost a failed gaming company and ends today, Nvidia controlling the entire AI industry. But the crazy part, it almost failed twice. Let me show you the rise, the collapse, and the trick that changed the world. It began in 1993 in a tiny rented office with 3 founders and $40,000. Jensen Huang, just 30 years old. Not famous, not rich, and basically unknown. He teamed up with Chris Malachowski and Curtis Prim to chase one wild idea. Graphics would become the future of computing. Nobody believed it, but they built Nvidia anyway. Then Jensen makes a bold prediction. Gamers will push computers harder than scientists. People laughed, and competitors didn't even respond. Finally, they finished their first GPU. The result? It was terrible. S3 and 3DFX were destroying them. Nvidia was burning cash. Jensen had to fire his staff and cut off his own salary. Analysts literally wrote, Nvidia will not survive. But then, Nvidia launches the Riva 128. Surprisingly, it was fast, reliable, and cheap. It became a hit. It saved the company. At that time, the king of graphics was 3DFX. Everyone thought 3DFX will crush Nvidia. Instead, Nvidia out-innovated them, outpriced them, and watched 3DFX collapse. And when 3DFX finally fell, Nvidia bought the remaining parts of the company. The underdog became the king. But the story didn't stay smooth for long. Just as Nvidia was rising, a new enemy stepped in. Intel, the biggest chip company in the world. And Intel didn't want competition. They sued Nvidia, blocked them from building chipset, and cut off a massive part of their business. And this time, the attack worked. Nvidia took a huge hit. Jensen calls it one of the toughest moments of our history. Most CEOs would retreat, but after that defeat, Jensen made a wild gamble. A decision so strange that it confused everyone. He bet the future of Nvidia on something no one even asked for it, no one even understood, and no competitors even bothered to copy. In fact, the industry thought it was pointless. His idea was something called CUDA. You see, before CUDA, graphics had only one job: process graphics using parallel computer, draw images, render games, nothing more. CPUs handled everything else. So when Nvidia created CUDA, people were confused. CUDA wasn't a chip. It was software, a platform that let developers use GPU as brains to process any kind of data, using the same parallel power that made graphics fast. And that was something CPU could never match. But back then, nobody cared. Why would someone use a graphics card to process data? That's what CPUs are for. Reviewers ignored it, and competitors didn't even try to copy it. But Nvidia spent hundreds of millions building something that looked completely useless. CUDA had one hidden superpower. It let AI researchers run their code on GPUs, but only Nvidia GPUs. So when deep learning era began, every researcher started building their models on CUDA using Nvidia cards, training faster than ever. And then deep learning exploded. Suddenly, every lab, every university, every AI company wanted Nvidia. And the smartest trick Nvidia ever pulled was the CUDA lock-in strategy. You see, CUDA works only on Nvidia hardware. If you switch to another GPU, you must rebuild your entire AI system from scratch. You can't copy, move, or replace CUDA. And that single strategy turned Nvidia into something no competitor could touch. But not everything was perfect. Nvidia tried to enter smartphones. It was a disaster. That project failed so badly that Jensen had to kill the whole division. It looked like a huge setback, but that decision freed Nvidia's focus for the next era. The gaming, VR, crypto, supercomputing boom. Every industry that needed computing power turned to Nvidia. And right when things looked perfect, crypto crashed. Nvidia stock fell 50%. But instead of panicking, Jensen doubled down on one thing: AI. Today, Nvidia doesn't just make GPUs, they control. The hardware, the software, the training frameworks, the libraries, the servers, and the supercomputers, and the networking. The entire AI workflow, they control all of it. Every major AI models runs on Nvidia. Not because Nvidia is the only option, but because they made switching painful. They didn't build CUDA for AI. AI exploded, and Nvidia just happened to be the only company prepared for it. And that's how a company that almost died in the 90s took over the future with a master plan no one saw coming. If you thought this was shocking, wait until you see what's happening above your head with Stalix satellites. Check out this video.